I'm Jenna.
And I'm Jackie.
And this is the mother-daughter duo that you didn't know you needed. We are back, guys.
Welcome.
With a different topic today.
Yes, we are back with a mother-daughter bond relationship topic.
Yes, we thought we would take a little break from discussing us moving out of the country. I'm still going to slide it in there somehow.
Oh yeah, we are excited about moving out of the
Yes,
country.
we definitely are. But today we're just going to talk about our relationship and how we got where we are today. How our relationship is just so positive. A lot of people ask us these questions. So that was the whole reason why we made this podcast.
Yes.
So that we can teach people how to have a healthy mother-daughter relationship.
Right. Our mother-daughter relationship starts, of course, with me. I really wanted to do more than what I had as a young child. Don't get me wrong, my mother-daughter relationship with my mom was amazing. I wanted to create that with my daughter. I wanted her to be able to have someone that she can always talk to, someone that she can always depend on, someone that's going to always be there no matter the conversation. When she was a young girl, I always made sure that I made time for her. I always listened to her and tried to take my feelings out of it a lot when there were things that I didn't agree with or things that I didn't even understand. Did it get rocky sometimes? Yes. But we worked through those things because I put her first. And one thing about me is with all of my children, I put my children first. I put myself on the back burner because I believe that when God blesses you with children,
yes,
He gives you those children for a short time to mold, to nurture them. That's your first ministry. That is your first gift.
And I just wanted to say, I want to recognize the fact that you decided to do something different than what you had while growing up. A lot of people decide to just go with what they had or go with what they were taught, and they say, well, I have my own children and this is how I was taught, so this is just how I'm going to do it. And I think that that part needs to be recognized so that a lot of people know you do not have to do what you were taught. You can make your own decisions. You can say, you know what, I didn't like that my mom worked a lot, so I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom and I'm going to stay home with my children. You don't have to do what you were brought up knowing to do.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a bad situation to do something different. I wanted to be able to be open with my children. I wanted my children to know that I was going to always be here no matter what their decisions are. I was going to always be available for them. I didn't want it to be just them reverencing and respecting me. I wanted to give that respect back to them.
Mutual respect is very important, especially when your daughters turn into teenagers. For me, if I didn't feel respected, then it would be harder to have respect.
Right.
And that's with everything in life. I feel like the reason we have such a positive relationship is because of trust.
Yes.
When I was a little girl, I was a complete daddy's girl. And all I wanted to do was be around my dad and be treated like a little princess. The roles kind of reversed when I became a teenager because now daddy doesn't want his little girl doing certain things.
Right.
And who do I have to talk to? Mom. And your little girls turn into teenagers, it needs to be mother and daughter relationship first and a friend right after.
Yes.
And that's what she was for me. Because of the trust, for an example, if me and her talked about something very personal, she would say to me, this is something I'm not going to discuss with your father. If you feel comfortable telling your father, I'm going to give you that space to have with him. And because she really did not go and tell him certain things and allow me to express myself to him myself, that gained trust between us. And that's why we have a friendship today.
Yes, yes. Like she said, the trust goes both ways. A lot of times parents think that my child is going to respect me. My child needs to trust me. We have to respect them and they in turn respect us. It's not like a demand because you're a parent that you are trustworthy, or you have to give it. And if you give it, you will definitely receive it, but it has to be priority.
If you are thinking that you deserve this amount of respect just because you are the parent, you will get the complete opposite with that
Yes,
attitude.
definitely.
We become teenagers. That is the start of us turning into young adults. And when we turn into young adults, we are learning who we are.
Yeah.
And we're changing. We're not the same person we was when we were 10, 9, 8 years old. So if you do not start getting to know that teenager, you're not going to know them as an adult, and it's going to get worse because now you did not take the time to get to know them, to get to know what they like and the changes. And now they're an adult, and guess what? This is what's going to happen to your relationship.
Right.
You're going to get further and further apart. Now your daughter is getting married and you want to be the best mother of the bride, and you don't know how because you don't know what she likes.
Exactly. There's so many changes that happen when your children are growing up. There's so many things that they go through, and now it's even worse.
Oh yeah,
Because of social media. You really have to be there and listen. You are not going to like the majority of the things that your teenagers do. You're not going to like it. You cannot turn your back on your children because you don't understand what they're going through.
The other thing that helped me having a positive relationship with my mom, I would say more in adulthood, is constructive criticism. Yes. I know that is hard for a lot of people, and they don't like, like constructive feedback. They don't like no one telling them about themselves or what they want to do. But I thrive off of that.
Yeah.
I like people to hold me accountable because I like to hold other people accountable. When I come to my mom and I need sound advice, and it's not something that she agrees with, she will tell me, and she will tell me what I did wrong. Sometimes she will read me to a T, honey.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I say, you know what, Mom? That's right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. I'm going to work on that. I'm glad that you brought this to my attention. I mean, just last week, I said to her, you know what, Ma, I appreciate what you said.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that advice and I'm going to figure out why I do that. Honestly, if you start doing that in childhood with your children, they'll already be used to it. So it won't feel like such a like it won't feel like a forceful situation. So I've learned so much from her. So with my children, I give them constructive feedback all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We're not sweeping nothing under the rug. We're facing things head on. I'm going to tell you, that's not right what you're doing. When your children become adults, they're already used to that.
Right.
So I don't feel offended when my mom tells me, no, you're definitely wrong and you need not to do that again.
It starts very young, It starts with, like she said, in our household, we taught our children to respect each other. We didn't allow them to fight each other. Coming from the household that I come from, I'm the youngest of 5 girls, and I was the only one that everyone didn't fight. They fought all the time, and that was one of the things that I was going to change. My children were not going to fight each other. We allowed them to argue and express themselves, but you keep your hands to yourself. And we wanted them to expect the same treatment that they received at home. That's what they will expect when they go out there. So for instance, she was taught at a young age that she was very special. She was the princess of the house. We all treated her that way. When she went out into the world, she was expecting someone to treat her with that same level of respect.
And if you go into this thinking that every relationship is perfect, you're definitely wrong.
Yeah.
No relationship is perfect. Yes, me and my mom, we talk pretty much every day. We're very close. Once every 6 months, one of us gets on the other's nerve.
Oh, yeah.
We have very different personalities and it balances out very well.
They're not going to do everything right. None of us are perfect. When you feel that you are getting on someone else's nerve, or you feel like you disagree with what someone has done to you, you have the right to say that.
Yes.
That's where one of the big problems come in with mothers and daughters, is because someone always feels like their voice is not being heard. And we don't do that here. There are times when I have to just close my mouth and listen. It is not my turn to speak. She's feeling a certain way, and I have to validate that, even if I disagree. And sometimes I'll disagree, but I won't say it then because that's not the right time to say it. Let her have her emotions about it. Come back later and say, you know what? I don't agree with what you said. I respect it, but the next time I wish you would handle it this way.
That's the saying. There's a time and place for everything, and you have to be able to know your child or your daughter to know, you know what, this is not the right time. Because my mom knows I'm very emotional, and if that time is me crying and being emotional, she's most likely not going to address it right then and there. And the same thing with her. She's not emotional, but she has these facial expressions. I know the face, and it's very like, when she looks like that.
It's the Eunice Washington face.
Yeah, it's the Eunice Washington face. When she looks like that, I'm like, no, I'll talk to her about this tomorrow.
Yeah. Some people put certain relationships above others. So I'm going to say it like this. Like, there's a lot of women out here that spend an enormous amount of time learning a man. They will spend all that time learning a man. And I'm not saying a man isn't important, because I've been with my husband for almost 40 years. The same amount of time I spend learning him, I put that into my children as well. I don't understand how a woman can treat their child a certain way that came from them. Like, this is my daughter.
Yeah, I'll never understand it.
This is my daughter. If her dad decided to walk away when she was younger, I'm going to always be mom. We also really need to put an emphasis on is that God gifted you with that child. It's your responsibility. The day I found out I was going to become a mom, I changed who I was. It's a very important job, and I believe if we would think about it in that way, things would change between moms, daughters, fathers, and sons, because these relationships are important to God.
And I just want to throw out there really fast, it is okay to apologize to your child.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because I have young children right now, and like I said, I've learned so much from my mom, and one of the things I did learn is that apologies are necessary.
Yes.
As a child, if your parent ever apologized to you, you felt seen.
Yes.
You felt heard.
Right.
And so I do that with my children now, and I see a major difference, even down to the 1-year-old. I mean, if mommy bumped your head, baby, mommy's sorry. A lot of things that I've been doing with my kids now is we'll sit around the dinner table, and I always ask everyone how their day is. I will ask them, is there anything that mommy can do differently to make you feel better? Is there anything that mommy has done that made you feel sad that you want to talk to me about, but you just haven't? I want to open the floor just in case there is one child that is not as open and not as expressive. Those things are very important, and it allows your child to know that they have emotional security. When your child knows that they have emotional security, they can then go out into the world as adults and they can handle their emotions in any situation because they were allowed to be expressive as children.
Right.
As mothers, we help guide those emotions, teach them how to handle their emotions when they're in a certain situation.
Right.
So this is doing nothing but creating adults who know how to handle their emotions.
We are natural born nurturers.
We would like to allow you guys to ask questions in the comments.
Yeah. It would be amazing if you all had questions for us, because
Definitely.
we're not putting this information out here to be judgmental for any family. We're putting the information out here to encourage people to know that it can be done. If you all have questions, we would like to help. That's the whole purpose of our podcast, to shine the light on our mother-daughter relationship, to give hope that it can be done.
Till next time, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.